What's up, guys? Joe Munoz, OneStepPrep.com. Another video where we say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, happy everything to you and your family. Really wishing you and yours well. We got a great holiday special going on, OneStepPrep.com/holiday. Take a look there at all the savings that you can enjoy on our website. And I want to talk to you about some experiences or some experience levels that we encounter here at the school. It can be everything from listen, I've trained pilots from 300 hours all the way up to 20,000 hours in a lunar landing, folks. Okay, I mean, I'm obviously a slight exaggeration, but I'm telling you, when you come from a military background, from a GA background, from a corporate background, from a banner towing background, from a seaplane background, whatever, I've probably at some point worked with you before. Now, what's interesting is when I sit down with a student and I ask, hey, what's your background? I'm asking for several different reasons, but one of them is I can share with you based on your background where you're likely to have some kind of hiccups maybe in training. So let's talk a little bit about that here. For those that come from a GA background, okay, general aviation, you have flown a light twin piston, you're coming from the world of flight instruction, some of the things that are going to get to you here in the world of training. Number one, energy management. Okay, you're not used to flying a jet, you're not used to going fast, you're not used to the concept of the inability to slow down and go down. You're also used to a prop airplane that has a straight wing as opposed to a swept wing jet, which introduces a whole new realm of aerodynamic characteristics that you're not used to. Flaring is going to be different for you. Stall recovery is going to be slightly different. The V1 cut or the single engine operation, because of the swept wing and the yaw roll coupling, man, we can get into all this, but I can share with you for those with the GA background, energy management. Now we get into the military. That's one of the things, by the way. There's other things, like I said, with aerodynamics. There's things with CRM. There's things with flows, checklists. You're used to wearing your knee board. You have to not only tune the radios, but talk on the radio, run your checklist, fly the aircraft. There's probably no autopilot, flight director tracking. You've never used a flight director before, right? So when you look at all these things, I can tell you definitively where you're going to have some of these hiccups and how we can apply some solutions for you in training. So that's GA. Let's go now to corporate, okay? Let's say you flew in the corporate world. In the corporate world, you were flying a Hawker 800 or a Learjet or a Gulfstream. Translation, basically everything that doesn't have the engine under the wing, it has the engine back here mounted on the tail. That means the V1 cut is going to be a little bit different for you because on a 320 or a 737, you have a longer arm between the center of the aircraft and the engine. You got a lot of centerline thrust probably on your corporate jet. So I suspect on the single engine operations, it's going to be a little bit of an issue or a challenge. On your stall recovery, because the engines on the tail are not mounted under the wing, you're not used to the thrust vectoring effect of thrust application causing significant nose up tendencies. That means you may run yourself into a secondary stall on the stall recovery. On the steep turns, you may exceed some altitudes, particularly in the nose up direction. I'm talking fast because I got a lot to share with you, okay? In the nose up direction because of the thrust vectoring effect. Man, there's all these things that come into play when you say corporate background. What about the pushback sequence? You're used to park in at Signature or Shelter, and you roll up, you get your newspapers, your coffee, you load up the passengers' bags, you probably have to file your own flight plan, you have no flight attendant, or maybe you do if it's a larger jet, but you certainly don't park at a jet bridge, you don't have a nose wheel steering bypass pin, you don't have the whole exchange of cockpit to ground, go ahead, brakes release, clear to push, push complete, set parking brake, show me the pin. Like that whole deal. What if I have a hot start? Now I got to contact dispatch, which is going to contact MOC, maintenance control. Now I got to get an amendment to the flight plan. Like that whole realm, completely foreign in the corporate world. Military. Let's look at the military folks. Military folks really appreciate your service, truly. For those of you coming from a fighter jet, typically what we see here is the CRM. It's similar kind of to the GA where you're used to wearing your knee board and having to do the checklist and the tuning of the radios and the talking and everything by yourself. Usually here we run into some automation issues, some CRM issues, the lack of understanding that when I'm flying, hand flying, I do not operate the mode control panel or the flight control unit, okay, MCP, FCU, tomato, A320, 73, same thing. Anyways, bottom line is, we have that with the military folks. The other thing we could have is if they have chopper experience. Maybe you're in the military, or even if you're not, but you're coming from a rotorcraft. You got some helicopter background. Definitely energy management because you're used to hovering. Definitely some automation here. So what am I saying? I assure you, if you come here, in fact, call. Do a coaching call with me if you want. This is a thing that I do. It's unfortunately not free because I'm running around all the time and I don't have a whole lot of time. But if you want to schedule some time with me, onestepprep.com/coaching. I will sit down with you. I'll listen to your whole story. I'll listen to what your background is, what I would recommend, what products and solutions we can offer, what I would do in your own free time. Maybe you want to talk career even after you get your newly acquired type rating or license, or maybe you're going to train at some airline. Maybe you want to go to an airline, but you're not sure how to go, how to interview, what you should do. You want to get back into the industry. You've been out of the industry for a while. I'll tell you what I would do. I'll tell you what I recommend. OneStepPrep.com/coaching. Would love to schedule a call with you. I also do mentorship, by the way. Go to OneStepPrep.net/mentor. It's a whole different website for a whole different range of products and services that I'm engaged with. So go check that out as well. Okay, so GA background, corporate, military, rotorcraft. Maybe you're coming from seaplane, okay? I recently had a gentleman come from seaplane. You know how I discovered he came from seaplane? I should have just asked this person, but they were having trouble lining up with the center line. We were on approach, in the sim, visual, clearing a million, and they can't track the center line. And I'm like, man, this is one of the things I haven't seen before. What's going on? You can't track a center line properly, and then come to find out, he's been landing on water. Of course he can't track a center line. There is none. So I figured that out, and now I have that in my repertoire of understanding background and experience. So many different realms of all kinds of scenarios that we deal with here, and we very much want to figure out what yours is, and then I know we're going to be able to apply the right steps to put you on track to success. So look forward to working with you. OneStepPrep.com. Several promotions ongoing, particularly right now is the holidays. So OneStepPrep.com/holidays. If you want to do coaching, OneStepPrep.com/coaching. And if you want to do mentorship, OneStepPrep.net/mentor. I'll see you there.